Today we're going to tackle a really crucial topic, one that affects millions of young people, but is often surrounded by a lot of misunderstanding: teen depression. In this explainer, we're going to break down what it is, what's going on underneath the surface, and most importantly, we'll explore the real actionable paths towards support and recovery. So, let's dive right in.
3 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many adolescents, kids between 12 and 17 in the US, go through a major depressive episode every single year. This isn't just some abstract statistic. It's a massive signal telling us just how vital this conversation is for all of us, for our families, our schools, and our communities.
All right, so to really get our heads around this, we're going to break it down into 4 key parts. First, we'll look at why this has become such a growing concern. Then, we'll get into how to actually identify the symptoms. After that, we'll explore the complex causes behind it all. And finally, and this is the most important part, we'll focus on the path forward.
So, let's kick things off by exploring why teen depression has really become such a pressing public health issue right now. What's going on?
Okay, first things first. It's so important to understand that a depressive disorder is way more than just feeling sad. It's a clinical condition, and the key word here is persistent. We're talking about feelings of hopelessness and a loss of interest in things that used to bring joy that just don't go away. And here's something a lot of people miss. It often comes with very real physical symptoms, making it a true whole-body experience. So just how widespread is this really? Well, about 20% of teens are affected. That's 1 in every 5. Think about that for a second. In an average high school classroom, that could be 4 or 5 students. This isn't some rare condition. It's something that significantly disrupts their lives, impacting everything from schoolwork to friendships and family life. That leads us to a really important question. If it's this common, how do we actually recognize the signs of depression in a teenager? What should we be looking for? The symptoms aren't just what you might think. Of course, there's the psychological side, that persistent sadness, or very commonly in teens, irritability and anxiety. But there are also key social signs. A teen might suddenly pull away from their friends or drop out of a club or sport they used to love. And you absolutely have to pay attention to the physical side. Things like big changes in sleep or appetite, constant fatigue, or even physical aches and pains that don't have a clear cause. Okay, this is a big one. A question a lot of us have is, isn't this just normal teenage moodiness? How do you tell the difference? Well, it really boils down to 2 key things: duration and disruption. Typical teen moods come and go. They don't bring daily life to a grinding halt. Depression, on the other hand, sticks around for more than 2 weeks and genuinely gets in the way of their ability to function. At school, with friends, at home.
Okay, so now we know what to look for. Let's dig a little deeper and get into the why. What actually causes depression in teenagers?
Well, here's the thing about the roots of depression. There's rarely a single smoking gun. It's almost never just one thing. Instead, it's usually a complex mix of internal factors, what's happening inside a person, and external factors from the world around them.
So, looking internally, genetics can certainly play a part. If there's a family history of depression, the risk can be higher. But it's not just biology. Psychology is a huge factor here. We're talking about things like negative thought patterns, that inner critic that's always harsh, or personality traits like low self-esteem that can make a teen more vulnerable to life's challenges.
And then you have all these powerful external forces. These are stressors from the outside world, like conflict at home, bullying at school, or just overwhelming academic pressure. And in our modern world, we absolutely cannot ignore the intense pressures that come from technology and our digital lives.
In fact, that brings us to a really powerful insight from our source material. Listen to this quote: "Cyberbullying and excessive social media use can contribute to feelings of isolation, inadequacy, or social comparison." I mean, that just perfectly captures it, right? It shows how the online world can become this pressure cooker, amplifying insecurities and making teens feel constantly judged or left out. Understanding the problem is absolutely the first step. But now let's shift gears and talk about the most important part of this whole conversation: finding a path forward through treatment, prevention, and the incredible power of support. When we talk about treatment, it's really important to note there's no single magic bullet. The most effective approach is almost always a team effort. It often combines professional help like psychotherapy, sometimes medication, and this part is so critical: a strong foundation of social support from family and friends. Let's zoom in on psychotherapy for a second, because there are a few different types that are really effective. You've got cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which is all about helping teens recognize and challenge those negative thought patterns. Then there's family therapy, which works on improving communication and support right at home. And group therapy can be incredible because it provides peer support and shows a teen in a very real way that they are not alone.
And look, teens spend a huge chunk of their lives at school, right? So schools have a crucial role to play here. They can be a frontline support system by integrating mental health education and making sure counseling services aren't just available, but are easy to access without any stigma.
Beyond the school gates, the wider community has a part to play too. Things like awareness campaigns and peer support networks are so powerful because they help tear down that wall of silence, that stigma that too often stops people from even asking for help in the first place.
And then, zooming out even further, you've got the role of our governments and healthcare systems. They have a fundamental responsibility to make sure that affordable, quality mental health care isn't a luxury, but something every single person can access. Funding for prevention and research is absolutely essential.
Okay, finally, let's talk about prevention. Because what if we could get ahead of the curve? We can be proactive about this. It starts with early detection, educating parents and teachers on what to look for. It's also about promoting healthy lifestyles to build resilience. But maybe the biggest thing of all is just creating safe spaces where teens feel they can have open conversations and share what's on their mind without being judged.
So all of this really leaves us with one big, important question to think about. How do we build a world where asking for help is just normal? It's a huge question, but the answer starts with understanding. It's fueled by empathy, and it's built one conversation at a time, just like the one we're having right now.